Beta Gamma Omega, located and chartered in the historic African American community of Turner Station, which is located in beautiful Baltimore County, Maryland. I want to welcome you all here tonight for this really informative event. And we're excited to see so many women interested in this conversation about stocks amongst women and how investing can be very influential and very just open doors and opportunities for financial well-being for women. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the pearls to my sorority sister, Ivory, who will introduce our guests. Thank you, Sir Ivory.
You're quite welcome, Madam President. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening. I am Ivory Lipscomb Warren, a proud charter member of the Alpha Beta Gamma Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated that was founded on the campus of Howard University on January 15th, 1908. So you're here this evening because to support and to learn about one of our great initiatives, which is building our economic wealth. And under the leadership of Danette Anthony Reed, our president and CEO of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, you're going to learn a little bit more. Under that umbrella of building our economic wealth, there are 5 areas of focus. One is for members only. That is a for members only credit union. So that is for members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. There's financial wellness and planned giving. Sister circles for members of the sorority, supporting women entrepreneurs, which is truly important, and also Black Dollar Days. So again, I am excited that you are here with us this evening to learn more about stocks, about building your wealth. And without further ado, I'm actually going to introduce Miss Chrissy Thornton. She is the president and CEO of Associated Black Charities, a native New Yorker. She is high energy, creative, and outgoing executive with a professional attitude and diverse experience. Chrissy possesses an effective combination of technical, managerial, and communication abilities, along with the excellent organizational and team building skills. She's been recognized for developing professional staff, training programs to revitalize departments, and implementing organizational change efforts into growing businesses. Experience in organizational diagnosis and the design and facilitation of large-scale events and staff development activities, Chrissy has a 20-year background in successful fundraising, donor and corporate relations, digital engagement, grant writing, and the seamless execution of exceptional meetings, events, training seminars, team building sessions, education conferences, fundraisers, peer-to-peer activities, and so much more. She's also the author of 6 works, most known for the publication, Stop Scrambling, Start Bringing Home the Bacon, a guide to establishing an effective fundraising plan for your nonprofit organization. She's a former real estate investor and franchise owner who believes in the power of entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and economic education and development. Having served as an independent consultant to nonprofit organizations of all sizes across America, Chrissy successfully supported many with diagnosis and rebuilding. Board and committee onboarding development, fundraising plan creation and execution, marketing and branding support, and the implementation of innovative fundraising and engagement activities. Chrissy is passionate about the community and involvement and serves on a number of boards, if I can speak this evening, and advisory councils throughout Maryland. She has a master's degree in business with a concentration in organizational management and is a sought-after public speaker. She and her husband reside in Maryland and is the proud mom of 2 boys. Without further ado, welcome you to Chrissy Thornton.
Thank you so much, Ivory, and thank you all for having me this evening. I have to apologize, I'm a little bit under the weather, but nonetheless very happy and proud to be here. As a fairly new president and CEO of Associated Black Charities, which you may recognize as ABC here in Baltimore, I'm happy to join this conversation this evening and to talk a little bit about why financial empowerment in the Black community is so important to us, to me personally and our organization. But let me stop and just give thanks and gratitude to one of my board members at ABC, your president, Celia Lowe, to thank her for this invitation and thank her for her service to our organization as well. Associated Black Charities is a racial equity organization that looks at the many ways that structural racism has had an impact on the lives of Black people and Black families. Economic disenfranchisement specifically is one of the largest ways Black people have been left out of the ability to thrive and live successfully. And the racial wealth gap, you may not know this, is now 8-to-1 in Maryland, and it is 10-to-1 nationally. And because of systemic inequity, Black communities have had limited access to wealth building opportunities, and it's one of our major focuses. Of course, we know that segregation, discriminatory lending practices, exclusionary policies prevent Black individuals from accumulating wealth or having access to capital and many of the investment vehicles, some of which I'm sure you'll learn about this evening. Also, limited financial education and knowledge about investing have been longstanding barriers for Black people, including a lack of exposure to investment concepts and strategies, which has contributed to a lower level of our participation. And many people will tell you that the only thing separating those who are affluent from those who aren't is information, but access is also a major barrier. At the same time, in our communities, we can exhibit higher levels of risk aversion when it comes to investing due to concerns about potential losses and financial security. And that's due to our historical experiences, being economically unstable for so many generations, and the desire to preserve our wealth heavily influences our investment decision-making. Additionally, negative perceptions or mistrust of financial institutions in our communities and the stock market has been rooted in historical experiences of our exploitation and can impact our willingness to participate in investing. Throughout the 20th century, ABC teaches that discriminatory practices were prevalent in the financial industry, denying Black people equal access to stock market participation. These practices included bans on Black investors, racial quotas, and restrictions on stock ownership specifically for Black people. We've also historically been targeted, as we all know, by predatory lending and investment schemes. We've often faced limited representation within the financial industry, and this lack of diversity in financial institutions, which persists, it perpetuates the biases and contributes to a lack of trust and a hindrance of opportunities for Black investors to receive fair treatment. We believe that this has created significant barriers for Black people seeking to participate in the stock market and benefit from this vehicle as a potential wealth building opportunity. It's said that we determine our financial future for our 80s when we're in our 20s. And at Associated Black Charities, we promote this conversation. And this is the idea that making proactive financial decisions and taking actions early in life ensures that long-term financial security and well-being in your later years. In your 20s, you have the advantage of time and compounding interest. And by starting to save and invest early, you give your money more time to grow, obviously, and potentially accumulate greater wealth over several decades. And this allows you to harness the power of compound interest. But so often and for so long, our communities have been left out of this financial literacy and financial education, specifically at younger ages. And this is why equitable access to financial education, dismantling these discriminatory practices, and increasing our representation in the industry is so very important to Associated Black Charities and to the whole Black community. We're actively working to provide what we consider to be transformative programming and to create a more inclusive investment landscape that empowers Black people to participate and benefit from potential gains of investments of all kinds, including stocks and bonds. So we are so very happy to be participating in tonight's learning opportunity. And thank you for having us this evening. Now I have the distinct honor and pleasure of introducing tonight's wonderful facilitator. From poverty to Ph.D., Dr. Laquore J. Meadows is a #1 best-selling author, visionary, dynamic leader, and wealth builder. And she's the CEO and co-founder of Invest2Give. Inspired by the life and legacy of Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, she began her stock trading career with the aspiration to normalize wealth among communities of color while creating a lasting educational and financial impact on the world. She has since co-leveraged a $5.3 million donation to the organization that she leads and has successfully utilized the stock market to accomplish her financial goals while helping professionals around the globe to do the same. Dr. Meadows has educated students of all facets, ages, and levels with her strong financial knowledge. As an additional resource for those new to the stock market, her #1 Amazon bestselling ebook, Income on Demand, the complete playbook for beginning stock traders, provides beginners a peek into the world of stock trading and investing. She's also the founder of Stocks and Sorors, an initiative created to encourage members of Black Greek sororities to become active participants in the stock market. Dr. Meadows is not only a financial powerhouse, but a creative innovator as well. She created the Chosen for More Collective apparel line to further empower current and aspiring stock traders and entrepreneurs who are ready to rise above the W-2 mentality and leverage their 9-to-5 as a bridge and not a destination. We are all uniquely chosen to do a thing. However, limiting beliefs and financial astigmatisms often keep us from realizing the impact that we were designed to have on the world. We must change this narrative, she states. Dr. Meadows received her bachelor's degree from Tennessee State University, her master's in college student personnel from Miami University, and a doctorate in higher education administration from Ohio University. She enjoys a career as a higher education professional at the Ohio State University and is also an active member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Dr. Meadows is a trailblazer on a relentless mission to build a bridge between aspiring investors and their financial goals. She'll continue to utilize her passion for the stock market to encourage others to leverage stock and options trading as an opportunity to generate income on demand and promote the intergenerational transfer of wealth. So without further ado, I bring you Dr. Laquore J. Meadows.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction. Thank you as well for that wonderful just synopsis of the inequities that we faced as African Americans as it relates to investing and specifically as it relates to the stock market. That was absolutely wonderful. Before we get started tonight, I want to say a special thank you to my sisters, the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, for allowing me and inviting me to come and connect with you tonight. Also, thank you to Madam President, Ms. Celia Lowe Smith, for the invitation to be here. I am truly honored to be of service, and thank you so much once again for the opportunity to be of service. And I also wanted to say thank you to each and every person who signed up to join tonight. Like, it's beautiful outside, I'm sure. Wherever you are, it's gorgeous, but you have made the decision to come here tonight to invest in yourself. So I am super proud and super excited and completely honored to be here with you this evening. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to pull up a presentation because we're going to go through a number of different things tonight. This is a stock market 101, okay? 101. So for those that are brand new in the market, I like to call them my stock market neos. Put a 1 in the chat. I want to see how many people are brand new to the market. So if you have not done anything yet, you're like, okay, Laquore, I want to learn a little bit about this. I need to have an understanding. Okay, cool. I love my stock market neos. All right, excellent. This is great. Okay, so our goal tonight for all those who have selected 1 and put that in the chat is our goal for this evening is I want to make sure that you leave this conversation tonight prepared to take your next step, okay? Prepared to take your next step. Does that sound good? If that sounds good, put a 2 in the chat. Let me see a 2. Want you to be prepared for the next step. All right, excellent. Perfect. Okay, so let me go ahead and get up. Ladies, if you don't mind enabling me to share my screen, I'm going to pull up my presentation. For those who have had some experience in the stock market, let me see a 3 in the chat. I want to see how many people have had some experience. Okay, awesome. Great job, Gabrielle, Vanessa, Don, Ayo, Janice, Patty, Karen. Okay, I love it. That's great. That sounds wonderful. Myrna, great. I love it. Congratulations, ladies. I'm super proud of you. That's amazing. And if anybody has a favorite company, right, that you have saw and invested in over time, what are some of those companies? I want to see what those are too. What are some companies that you like? All right, we got Apple, we got Nike, we have Exxon, Microsoft. Okay, awesome. Some more Apple, some Googles. All right, Microsoft, NVIDIA, yes. Yes, NVIDIA is killing the game, okay? So we'll talk a little bit about that too. Amazon, yes, Amazon finally woke up. So I'm excited about that. Waste management. All right, marijuana companies, yes, the cannabis stock, Zoom, Target. All right, perfect, perfect. Awesome, awesome. Oil companies, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right, Meta. Meta is doing well too. Airlines, okay, Pfizer. Excellent, excellent. We've got a nice variety here. So what I'm loving about what I'm seeing coming through the chat right now is that we have a nice level of diversification, okay? So when we get ready to go through our presentation tonight, we're going to talk about the importance of diversifying our respective portfolios. And what I'm seeing here are companies that are broken down into different sectors. So I'm loving the diverse approach that is coming up here. We have some energy, some tech, some consumer staples. So this is great. Phenomenal, phenomenal. Great job, ladies. Okay. All right. So again, thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. I do have a quick slide here just to tell you who I am. For those ladies who are a member of Stocks and Sorors, let me see a 4 in the chat. Anybody here already in Stocks and Sorors? If you're not, I want you to join us, okay? So I don't see many 4s. All right, so I do invite you, first and foremost, to join the Stocks and Sorors community. We are a community of over 7,000 women, and we are comprised of all 4 of our Divine 9 sororities. So I would love for you to join us. If you are on Facebook, please type in Stocks and Sorors on Facebook. And then that way you can get connected with us. I have different one-on-one events. I'm completely kind of shifting the focus of Stocks and Sorors, so you'll hear more information about that. So I would love, love, love for you to be a part of this growing and beautiful community. Also, another wonderful thing about Stocks and Sorors is that it is a space where we have been able to, as Black women, to truly hold space for one another beyond the generation of wealth, right? We've been holding space for each other as it relates to our careers, as it relates to moving forward with our dreams, our aspirations, and so forth. So I definitely welcome you to become a part of that growing and that beautiful community. Now, let me tell you a little bit about how it started.
I'm sorry to interrupt. You're good to go, Dr. Meadows.
I'm good to go?
Have
Okay.
co-host. Yes, I apologize.
All right, perfect. Yep, I have it now. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate you. All right, so let me get my screen up. Okay, I do see a question in the chat. Do you have to be a Divine 9 member to join? Yes, at this moment, it is exclusively for members of the Divine 9. However, I do have plenty of other opportunities for you to engage with the community, the overall Invest2Give community. So yes, I would love to have you join us at any time. All right, so let me go ahead and get this up and get this shared on our present screen. So the title of tonight's presentation is Sis, Are You Ready to Invest? All right, are you ready to invest? And if that answer is yes, let's go ahead and get started. All right. So I do like to make sure we set the atmosphere before we get started. So I have some things that I want to say, and I would love for you, if you don't mind, unmuting yourself, and I would love for you to read out loud the word in the middle of the screen. Okay, so let's get started. We are
powerful.
We are
Brilliant.
We are
Change agents.
Yes, we're change agents, ladies. We are
Worthy.
Yes, we are
worthy.
Doper
than
ever. Absolutely, absolutely. All day, twice on Sundays. Okay, we are doper than ever, ladies. So I really like to start out all of our presentations, especially when I have an opportunity to speak to an amazing group of women, just to remind us how truly amazing we are. We are doing a thing out here. We are making things happen. We are running organizations. We're all the things. So just like we're doing all the things, we can also do this thing called the stock market. All right. So you ready to get started? Yes. Let's go. All right. So I've already been introduced. So I'll go ahead and skip through that slide. So that is myself. This is just a couple of things I've been able to do over the past year, I actually need to update this with some other things, but I have been blessed, ladies, to be in a couple of different magazines, been on podcasts, made good money in the market, wrote a book, had a chance to be a speaker at the Centennial Ballet for Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. I have spoken at American Airlines, Allegiant Airlines, get ready to speak at Alaska Airlines. I'm here with the beautiful ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I have been blessed. I've been blessed. So the stock market is definitely my thing. I'm not new to this, ladies. I am true to this. And I hope that something I say tonight will help you to also become true to this as well. So not only is this some things that I've been able to accomplish, my students also have accomplished a lot on these stock market streets. So these are some screenshots of different text messages I've gotten over time of people just really out here making things happen, not only for themselves, for their families, and for generations to come. All right. The stock market is truly a tool that we all can use in order to level up to our next. The next thing I want to share is that I am on a mission. Okay. I am on a steadfast mission, which is one of the reasons why I started Stocks and Sorors, and that is to truly help us all to transition from fear to focusing on not our well-being, but our wealth being. Not our wealth, but our wealth, W-E-L-L being. Okay. So to me, and to those that are a part of our community, we understand that wealth is so much more than just about money. Okay. So much more than just about money. So if you decide to become a member of the Stocks and Sorors community, you're going to see some things coming forth that focus on not just helping us understanding how to navigate these stock market streets, but how to navigate it in a way that we can focus on our on our journey to wealthy. Okay, so that is my focus, and I look forward to engaging with everybody on that journey. So before we get started, I do want to offer up a quick disclaimer. All the classes that I teach are for educational purposes only. So we are going to be talking about a number of different companies tonight. We'll be talking about a number of different websites, resources, you name it, whatever you need. I'm here to help support you, but know that it is just for educational purposes only, and know that I'm not here to provide tax advice, legal advice, or anything like that. I'm just here to be of service to my sisters. Okay, so that is my disclaimer. So here's our agenda for this evening, and I'm going to kind of speed through this just to make sure we can stay on time. First and foremost, I do want to spend a moment of time just introducing Stocks and Sorors. So for those that are not familiar with Stocks and Sorors, I want to make sure you understand kind of where it started and where we are now. And then we're going to dive into understanding the getting started on the stock market, and we're going to do it in 4 simple steps. All right. So my big promise to you, especially those who put a 1 in the chat earlier, all of my stock market neos, I want you to leave our conversation tonight with a solid understanding of what is your next step to either take your first step or your next step on these stock market streets. Also, feel free, if you have questions throughout our conversation tonight, feel free to ask. I would love to answer them. Again, I am here for you. My whole mission is for you to be able to accomplish yours. Okay, that is why I'm here. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I'll be more than happy to be of service. And then last but not least, if you do decide, you're like, okay, Laquore, this is of interest to me, but I want to learn a little bit more, right? I do want to offer you an opportunity to join my Trade Your Payday Challenge. And I have also a special surprise for you because you decided to come and rock with me tonight to be of service to you as well. Okay, so I will talk about that as we get to the end. All right, so let's quickly, I just want to make sure that you have an understanding of what Stocks and Sorors is, so that if you decide to join us, you'll know what you're getting into. So I want to talk a little bit quickly about the history of Stocks and Sorors and how it came into existence. So thinking back about, this was now probably a good 2 years ago, I was sitting literally downstairs in my living room, and I was thinking about the fact that Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated centennial year was coming up. And because of that, I was like, you know what, we should do something as Black Greek sororities to commemorate this moment. But fear sat in. I was like, Laquore, you don't hold no clout. You a Delta. That's it. You're on the committee chair, but that's all the credentials you have. So there's really nothing you can do. And so with that, I sat on just the idea of even having a conversation about this for a very long time. But I believe it was the Lord who came back and said, well, sis, you do know something, right? You know about the stock market. You've done well in the stock market. You teach people about the stock market. Why don't you do something in service to your sisters in order to help them also begin to navigate this space? And so that's where the idea of Stocks and Sorors was born. So it is my goal to not only, well, at that time, it was not only my goal for us in some way to commemorate that 400 years of service collectively that us as Black Greeks have had to our communities, both domestically and abroad, but it was really my way to really help us to lay the financial foundation for our families for the next 400 more. Okay, so that is Stocks and Sorors. So my goal with this whole initiative is to educate through things like this and through my Sunday classes and all the other classes that I teach, 1,908 trailblazers who love the pink and green, 1,913 change agents who adore the crimson and cream, 1,920 women who enjoy the finer things in life, and 1,922 ladies whose centennial year was certainly filled with love, laughter, and light. And my goal is once I have once the sorority reaches their final year in number, I'm going to donate in dollars to a nonprofit of their choosing. Okay, so that's where the Facebook group comes in. So again, if you are a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, I would love to have you to be a part of our beautiful community. All right. Okay, so that is Stocks and Sorors. And I would love it if you can add into the chat just your thoughts about it. I would love to hear your thoughts because, again, ladies, this is for you. And I welcome you to be a part. All right. Y'all ready to get started? I am. Y'all ready? Let me see a 5 in the chat if you're ready. Let me see. Actually, let me see. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Okay, that's the first question I got. The second question is, can we make this plain? All right, can we make it plain? My whole aim when I teach the stock market is to really help us to get over all of the rigmarole, right? A lot of times when we are listening to CNBC, when we're hearing conversations, it can sound like a whole nother foreign language. But tonight, okay, my job is to make this real simple. We're going to talk about how do we make this happen in 4 steps. Sound good? Yes? Yes, yes, yes? Okay, perfect. All right, step number one is to educate yourself, okay? Educate yourself. So that is what we're doing tonight, ladies. We're spending time on this beautiful Tuesday night to spend some time together in this room, in this virtual assembly, to really spend some time investing in our knowledge. All right. So on that journey of educating yourself, there's a couple of things that I recommend that you start with. All right. So first and foremost, I want us to have a conversation about a very important component of any investment strategy, and that is diversification. Okay. That is diversification. So can anybody tell me in the chat, why did I start here? Why is diversification important? And let me see if I can get the chat up so I can see. Why is diversification important? Why should we care? Let me see if I can get the chat. Here we go. Okay, helps to balance risk, make a more opportunity, keep your options open, helps manage risk, excellent, better ROI. Yes, Terry, fist bump. Yes, absolutely. Volatility in the market keeps you informed. Okay, provides more security. Excellent, excellent. Buying in different fields because they will go down. Okay, yes, absolutely. TH, yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. More leverage. Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, you ladies are so on point. You're exactly right. All these things that you're mentioning are right in alignment as to why before we invest in anything, it doesn't have to be the stock market. It could be real estate. It could be collectibles. It could be cryptocurrency. It could be whatever, right? It's important for us to diversify. All right. So I want to talk first about diversification from let me see if I can put this down and then bring it back up. Hold on 1 second. I want to make sure I can see my chat so I can see what my sisters are talking about. Let me put this down and then hit present. Okay. Cool. Hopefully that'll work. Okay, there we go. All right. So one of the things that I want us to talk about is diversification from a more macro perspective. All right. So anybody heard of asset classes? If you've heard of asset classes, put a 6 in the chat. Let me see those who are familiar with asset classes. All right, great job, Gabrielle. Felicia, excellent. Okay, Monica, perfect. Okay, so when we're talking about diversification, one way, even before we start diving into the stock market streets, is looking at how do we diversify portfolio across asset classes. So there are 4 key asset classes. Stocks is one of them. Bonds is another, mutual funds, and alternative investments. Okay, so you may be like, okay, Laquore, so yeah, that sounds about right, but where is real estate, right? Anybody know where real estate sits in this asset class combination? Anybody know? Anybody? Okay. It fits in the alternative investment category. Yes, Jordan, exactly. It fits in the alternative investment category. All right. So thinking about diversifying our portfolio, if real estate is something that you're interested in, that's where that would sit. Also, you can also tap into real estate through the stock market. Okay. And one way you can do that is by purchasing a REIT, which is a real estate investment trust, which is like companies that invest in or finance real estate. That's one way. You can also invest in different types of builders, lots of different things. Okay. So there's lots of alternatives for us there. Where these asset classes also come in handy for us to understand is in our retirement plans. Okay, so most of us, if not all of us, have 401ks, 403bs, SEP IRAs, whatever that retirement option may be. And so within our retirement plan, if we open up that document they send us, we will likely see a pie chart that's similar to this that has different allocations of our asset classes. Okay, and typically the more seasoned we get, right, in our lives, the more conservative our retirement plans, our allocations tend to be, okay? Meaning that the stocks slice gets a little bit smaller, all right? Because stocks is definitely the most volatile of the 4, all right? Okay, everybody picking up what I'm putting down? We good with the asset classes? Yes. Let me see yes in the chat if you're good. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I wanna make sure we know that this is one way we can diversify. Now, let's hop over to these stock market streets because there's also ways we can diversify in the stock market too. All right, before we get into the intricacies of everything, I want to start with the 101 level, okay? Let's talk about what a stock is, okay? What does it mean? What are we getting, okay? So when we are engaging with the market, and we decide, okay, I want to become an active investor. As an active investor, when we go in, we use our brokerage account. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. And we go in and we just decide, all right, I want to be part owner of Walmart. Anytime we're buying stock, shares of stock, we are requiring ownership. Okay, we are acquiring ownership. We're acquiring a slice of ownership of a publicly traded company, all right? So what do I mean by publicly traded? That means that that company has gone through a stringent process with what I like to call the police of the stock market, the Securities Exchange Commission, to say, okay, world, we are ready. We are ready for everybody and our preferred shareholders to begin to invest in us so that we can grow and we can develop into who we desire to become, all right? So as owners of that company, we are actually helping them to accomplish their goals because we're helping to pay for that to happen. And in return, we then get, as if if that company's value goes up, then we get appreciation, we get paid for our investment. Okay? All right. So let me back up and just tie a bow around that. When we are purchasing shares of stock, we are acquiring ownership over a company. Now, also in this space, I want to mention one more thing, because you may have heard this in conversation, and that is options. All right. So if you've heard of options, put a Y in the chat. I want to see if you've heard of options before, because I want to make sure you know that this is a thing before we move forward. Okay, Vanessa, yes, Monica. Okay, perfect. So when we have stocks, we're acquiring ownership. But when we have options or purchasing options contracts, we're acquiring rights. Okay, so that's fundamentally different. When we have ownership, we have all the rights, privileges, responsibilities of an owner. But when we purchase options, we're getting rights, which is not giving us that same level of ownership, or any level of ownership for that matter. Okay, it gives us the right to buy or sell shares of stock. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure you knew what the difference was between those two. All right, excellent. So now, again, another one-on-one level. I want to make sure we understand what's happening behind the scenes. All right. So for all of my stock market neos, I know that you have seen the market go woo, 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 right? We got these rallies going up. We got these pullbacks happening. We got people on the news talking about, oh my God, what's happening, right? I want us to understand why that is happening. What's behind it, all right? So one simple way to remember this, and this is also something to help you with becoming fluent in the market, I want to teach you some terminology if you aren't already familiar with it. What is happening behind the scenes, what's moving the market, are big banks, hedge funds, those institutions with all the billions of dollars. They are doing one of two things, okay? They're either buying shares, which is causing the prices to appreciate, the value of companies to appreciate, or they're selling shares, which is causing the prices of the value of these stocks to depreciate, okay? So when you hear someone talk about, oh, we've had a bull day or been in a bull market, that is the same thing as buying, okay? So a bull's job, and I like this when I teach kids and adults, right? So think about a bull. Bull has horns on their hair, right? They push price up. So anytime you hear someone say, oh, we have a bull market or we have a bullish day, that's nothing but the bulls pushing price up. The buyers pushing price up. On the flip side of the coin, we also have the bears, okay? So the bear's defense mechanism is what, ladies? Put it in the chat. What does the bear use to defend themselves? Yep, they sell, exactly, Taylor. Their claw, exactly, Vanessa, yes. Right? So their job is to push price down. So if you've been listening to the news, I would say probably a couple of months ago to about a year ago, you would have heard people talk about, oh, we're in a bear market. Okay, because prices were falling because of inflation. All right. So bulls, bears, those are two animals that are literally tussling it out all day. And that's what's causing the volatility in the market to happen. All right. So that's what's happening behind the scenes. It's nothing but big banks and hedge funds buying and selling. Okay. Now, what does this mean for us? Why should we care? Okay. When we're looking to invest or trade in the stock market, it is critical, okay? It is critical that we understand who's in control, all right? We need to understand who's in control. Are the bulls winning or are the bears winning? Because do we want to buy if prices are falling and then just let it sit? We could, but to start out, do we want to buy if prices are falling constantly? Or do we want to wait to see some promise? Anybody know? Nobody knows? Okay. Buy. Okay. So we want to buy. Yes. Okay. Excellent. We want to buy low with the idea of being able to sell high. Okay. So the whole goal for us at the end of the day is to understand the momentum of the market. all right, the momentum of the market. And here's one way we can determine a momentum is by understanding on a consistent basis, what are these three things doing? Okay, so anybody know what are these called? The S&P, the Dow, and the NASDAQ. Anybody? What are they called? What's one? It starts with an I. Yes, good job, Jordan. Yes. Excellent, Tiffany. Great job. Great job, Terry. Awesome, awesome. Yes, these are indices, okay? So the S&P 500 represents 500 companies, and they're broken down into something called market capitalization, all right? That's just a fancy way of saying how valuable a company is, all right? It's a lot of fancy words out here in the stock market streets that really mean something very simple, okay? Market cap is nothing but value, how valuable it is. So S&P is 500 companies. The Dow Jones, how many companies are on the Dow Jones? Anybody? How many companies are on the Dow Jones? Let me see. Anybody? So yes, Jordan, great job. 30 companies, right? So the Dow Jones has 30 large American companies that sit on the Dow, all right? And then last but not least, we have the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ. What does the NASDAQ mostly have on it? Not exclusively, but mostly. What type of companies? Public. Yes, they are public. Tech. Great job, Jordan. Fist bump. Excellent, excellent. Yes, they are primarily tech companies. Okay, primarily tech. So these three indices are what help us to discern the momentum of the market. Is the market bullish? Are the bulls in control? Or is the market bearish? Are the bears in control? Are the bulls pushing their horns up? Are the bears out with their claws? All right? Okay. So for all of those who are interested in stock trading, which we'll talk about in a little bit, this is really, really important to have an eye on a more regular basis. For those that are investing, we also want to have a good idea. That's a long-term approach. We also want to have a good idea of what's happening here too. Okay? All right. Okay, let's keep going. Step two, select a strategy. All right, so first and foremost, we're going to educate ourselves, and we're going to continue to educate ourselves as we go throughout this presentation. Okay, so that's first thing. I want to give you a quick resource as well to educate yourself. So even if there's some things I'm talking about tonight, and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Invest2Give.com, I'm actually going to put this in the chat. Invest2Give.com is a great resource. It's like a encyclopedia for investing, right? Invest2Give.com is a great resource for you to check out and use. They have all types of videos, definitions, all types of things that can help you with understanding some of these terms as well. Okay. All right. So step one is educating ourselves. Step two is selecting a strategy. Okay. Selecting a strategy. You're welcome, Viola. So before we go into the differences between investing and trading, long-term and short-term, I want to talk about a more comprehensive strategy, okay, that I encourage all of us in this assembly tonight, right, to think about, all right? So this is what I call my financial fortress formula. And it has the investing and trading components in it, but I want to talk about it in a more comprehensive way. So one of the things, ladies, I encourage you to do, right, as you are thinking about ways to build your wealth, all right, is to think about how do I make sure that I am not only diversified across my assets, but I'm also diversified in my approach, okay? How do I not only ensure I'm diversified across my assets, but I'm also diversified among my approach. Not when I say approach, my strategies, okay? So I wanted to explain this real quick. So first and foremost, one of the things that I encourage you to think about, right, as you're engaged on the stock market streets is utilizing and leveraging a strategy that can help you to build a legacy, okay, a financial legacy. So that means long-term. So that means looking for assets, right? Not liabilities, but assets that can pay you 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now. Okay. That's that legacy. That's buying today, letting it sit and letting it ride. Okay. So that when it comes down for you to make that big purchase, when it comes down for your children to go to college, when it comes down for, all of us to someday go and retire, pay for our retirement, right? We have that legacy fund in place. So we don't have to go ask nobody for nothing. Okay. So legacy is long-term. Okay. So that's one piece of the financial fortress to have that working for us. The second pillar that I encourage you to also consider is income. All right. So we've talked about legacy, buying something, let it sit, letting price appreciate over time. The income pillar is leveraging the stock market to generate income so you ain't got to pull out that credit card. Okay. So you don't have to take that short-term loan. So you don't have to do whatever it is. If you want to go get you, okay, I like to talk about this. I don't pay for my Apple products. Guess who pays for it? Apple. Every time I need a new iPhone, iPad, whatever it may be, I go in and I leverage my income pillar and I trade to make income to purchase these products. So Apple pays for my Apple. Okay? So thinking short term, okay, how do I leverage the stock market in order to generate income on the short term? All right. So we've got a long-term approach. We've got a short-term approach. So we ain't got to go in debt. We ain't got to do, all the extra. The third pillar is opportunity. Okay. So this is not necessarily associated with the stock market, but also putting some funds aside when investment opportunities come to us. Like, for example, I'm an angel investor. I invest in small businesses. Okay. So when opportunities come to us and people will say, okay, I got this great idea, will you invest in me? And of course, if the financials, everything looks right, you have that working for you as well. Okay. So why do I take the time to go through all of this? Because if for some reason we have a whole conversation for a number of years about inflation and interest rates going up, guess what's going to get hit? This legacy pillar. Just like the last year and a half, right? The market has been falling. So regardless of how long people have had companies, they have depreciated. Now we're marching back up, especially in tech, but this part can get hit. But if we understand how to leverage it in a short-term way, we can balance things out by still generating income here. And if we have some other types of investments here, we can make this work for us as well, right? So we're really using this to insulate ourselves and building a financial fortress around ourselves in order to make sure that if something is not working in this moment, we got something else that has our back, okay? All right, is everybody picking up what I'm putting down? If you're picking up what I'm putting down with this, please put a 7 in the chat. Let me see. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Okay, does this make sense, what I'm saying? Okay. All right, perfect. I'm all about insulating ourselves, ladies, okay? Excellent. All right. Perfect. Okay, so let's move forward. So when we are talking about our strategy in the market, remember I talked about the legacy pillar and the income pillar. So I want to tap into those next. I want to get us started real quick, all right? Okay, before I do that, I saw a question. Feel free to put your question, or you can unmute yourself. That's fine. What's your question, ma'am? I saw a raised hand. I just didn't catch the name.
Vanessa. Good evening.
Go ahead, Vanessa. And ladies, we're going to do questions at the end as well, but because we want to make sure we get through the whole presentation. But go ahead, Vanessa.
I'm sorry. Just quickly, I know you were giving the short-term, long-term. So legacy, you said long-term. Income, you said short-term. And opportunity was what kind of term?
Opportunity. So opportunity can be medium term to long term, depending on what the opportunity is that is presented to us. So, yeah. So it can also, I use the example of what I do because I'm an angel investor, but it could be a real estate deal. It could be tax liens. It could be a number of different things, but just having that other source of income aside to be able to take advantage of those. And if something else ain't working for us, we'll have that at play.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. All right. So we're going to hold all the rest of the questions to the end. But I'm here for you. I'm here to help. Okay. All right. So next, let's talk about our legacy pillar. All right. Now, my question is, it is important for us to ask ourselves, right? What's in their bag? Okay. So it is our goal to build our bag. So we need to make sure we understand what's in theirs. All right. When I say theirs, these companies, these index funds, these exchange traded funds, right? We need to understand that. So now what I want to do is I want to take us to a resource so I can just show you really quickly, how do we investigate what's in their bag? All right. Now, let me also give you a technical kind of term for this, so you'll have some fluency around this. This is called fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis essentially means we are researching the financial metrics of a company in order to determine if it makes sense for us to purchase shares or not, okay? Based off of our investment strategies, okay? Now, let me type something in the chat real quick, just so you can have this here. So there are 3 different types of investing strategies. There's value investing, there's income investing, and then there's also growth investing. Okay, so what I would like for you to do is spend some time after this presentation diving in and researching those. Okay, because each one of those strategies, you're going to want to look for different types of financial metrics to determine if it makes sense for you to purchase based off of the strategy that you're employing. Okay, so those are the key 3 types. All right, so I'm going to hop over real quick to Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance is a great resource. I know I mentioned Investopedia before. Put Yahoo Finance in the chat. Finance. And this one is a great resource for us to, I'm sorry, I meant to put a C. Please use put a C, yahoofinance.com. Hold on a second. Okay, we're going to take a quick virtual field trip over here to Yahoo Finance real quick. All right. Okay, so somebody give me a company that you may someday have already are invested in. Let's use a company that you're interested in. Go ahead, feel free to put that in the chat. Target. All right, let's go with Target. Perfect. Okay, so Target. So one thing, when we are using a resource like Yahoo Finance, we can look for companies based off of something called a ticker. Okay, so a ticker is very similar to like an airport code. It's an abbreviation, right? So like Atlanta, ATL. I'm getting ready to go to Hawaii. What is? I don't even know what it is. Oahu. I don't know. But anyway, so whatever the airport code is, that's what we're looking for, right? With the abbreviations. But when we are leveraging the stock market, we can still use an abbreviation to find that company, or we can type out the whole company as well. For Target, their ticker is TGT. Okay, TGT. All right. Okay, so little Red Target had a rough day. All right, but let's look at this real quick. So when we are investigating our fundamental analysis for a company, we can come to a resource like a Yahoo Finance, and we can do some fundamental analysis by looking at their stock summary. Okay, so that's what we have right here is a stock summary. So this summary is telling us this is Target Corporation, ticker TGT. This is telling us how much it costs to buy 1 share of Target so that we can acquire ownership in that company. All right. So somebody's telling me, how much does it cost to become, if we want to go buy Target tomorrow, approximately how much would it cost us if we want to become an owner of Target? What do we see here? Go ahead and add that to the chat.
I'm so excited because today my mom and I are
147, exactly. Okay, so it's going to cost us $147.16 to buy 1 share of Target. All right, so that's one thing we can look at. So that tells us, all right, based off of our budget, how many shares do I want to buy? One of the things I recommend, especially when you're trading stocks, which we'll get to, is always keeping 20% of your budget in cash. All right, so don't put all the money out there, right? But making sure you have some allocations left. All right, so it costs $147.16 to purchase Target. Another thing I want to bring your attention to, anytime we are analyzing a company's fundamental analysis, one of the very first things I go to is, I want to know, is this company profitable? Okay. The way that we determine if that company is profitable is by coming down here to the middle where it says EPS. That means earnings per share. TTM means trailing 12 months.
From prom dresses.
So we want to know, did Target make any money? So basically what this is telling us that Target made $5.86 for every share that's out in shareholders' hands. So is Target profitable? Yes or no? Put it in the chat. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yes. So Target is profitable. Okay. So that's one thing I want to make sure I'm aware of as well. The other thing, so remember I talked about the different types of investing: income, value, and growth. If I am an income investor, which I am, because I want all the money I can get, right? We can also come down here and look at forward dividend and yield. So essentially that is for someone who is employing an income investing strategy. This is going to tell us, are we going to get a piece of the cut? Are we going to get a piece of the pie on top of any appreciation in the value of the stock? Okay. So for Target, the answer is absolutely. Absolutely. So for every share that a shareholder has in Target, they're going to get $4.32 when Target has its next distribution. And the yield, approximately $4, because this can change, the yield is 2.84%. When I'm looking for companies that offer dividends, I'm looking for a yield anywhere between 2 to 4%. That's my sweet spot. So Target definitely fits in that category. Okay. One thing that's important to know, however, if you want to qualify for the next distribution, you want to look for the ex-dividend date. Okay. This means that you need to be owners of Target before this date. You need to be on their books before this date in order for you to qualify for the next distribution. Okay, so this ex-dividend date is important. So if we went and bought Target tomorrow, which we all could, we wouldn't qualify for the next distribution because we are, thank you so much, Tiffany. Thank you for coming. We are past that date. Okay, so we would not qualify. All right, so there's a lot of other things on here, but I want to make sure for the sake of time, I won't dig into all this, but if you do join the challenge, ladies, I will be happy. We will go over this in detail. But this is the stock summary. Now, I also want to tell you one more thing, show one more component here as we think about the long term. I want to make sure you also know another piece that's important for us to look at. And that is digging deeper into a company's financials. And again, all of this, what we're going to be laser focused on is dependent upon the investment strategy that we're employing. Okay. So every company, every quarter releases something called earnings. So they get up and they say, okay, world, okay, investors, this is how much money we made. This is what happened. But more importantly, this is what we're forecasting in the future. Okay, that is key. We always want to understand what the forecasts are because that's going to help to determine what is anticipated for that company to do in the long term. As a part of that, we also want to know what is happening with their respective financial documents. So we have the income statement, we have the balance sheet, and a cash flow statement. All of these are going to give us a different lens into the company's financials. For example, the income statement is revenue over expenses. The balance sheet is assets over liabilities. And the cash flow statement tells us how much cash do they have at hand if anything hits the fan in different types of categories. So we have investing, cash flow, and so forth and so forth. Okay. So we don't have time to dig into this tonight, but I want to make sure you know that this is a thing. And if you're interested in reading more, if you like to nerd out on this stuff like I do, there are two documents that are called the 10K and the 10Q. which will give you the quarterly reports and the annual report. And you can get that by visiting sec.gov. And there you'll find like information from the CEO, CFO. You'll get the whole report. You can read everything about what's happening with that company. They're actually really insightful. Okay, so that's one place. So you can just go into search in Edgar, and then you can search your ticker and you can find out that information. All right, so that is a quick view into fundamental analysis. Now there's a lot more here. It's a lot more here that we can talk about, but I wanted to give you just a quick overview of letting you know how you come in and kind of analyze some companies. So ladies, I want to give you some wealth work. All right, wealth work is my way of giving homework. What I would like for you to do after our call sometime this week is I want you to come up with maybe like 5 to 7 companies that you think you may be interested in investing in for the long term. You think you may be interested in using as your legacy pillar. And come in here and take a look at, is that company profitable? Okay. Does that company offer dividends? Right? How much does that company cost right now? Okay. All of that would be helpful. And I also encourage you to, for at least one of them, go into the SEC or go to that company's investor relations website and read that full report. I think it would be extremely eye-opening for you. Okay, it is for me, and I've been doing this for years. Okay, so I encourage you to do that for your wealth work. All right. Now, not only do I want us to think about this from a long-term perspective, I also want us to think about this from a short-term as well. All right. How much more time do I have? My sister.
We can go until 7:30. I wanted to leave a little time for Q&A. So your presentation about, you want to do like another 5-10 minutes?
Okay, that's perfect. Yep, that's perfect.
And ladies, if you get into it and you all want to stay, we're on Zoom, we won't get put out the building. So if you want to stay on a little bit longer until our host can. But yep, you're good. It's only 7:11.
Okay, perfect. I wanted to make sure I was good as I go into technical analysis. Okay, excellent. Okay, so how are we feeling, ladies? Let me see if you can say, let me just ask this. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, because that's my favorite phrase, let me see an 8 in the chat. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Is it making sense? All right. Perfect. I'm seeing some 8s. Excellent. Okay, let me see a 10 in the chat if this is being helpful for you. I want to make sure not only are you picking it up, is it helpful? All right, awesome. Okay, good. Awesome, seeing some 10s. Excellent. Okay, 10 and 10 again. Okay, perfect. All right, that makes me happy. So that means that we are on track and we are going to be navigating these streets. Okay, so we talked about the legacy pillar. Now, what I want to do now is I want to dive over into the income pillar. All right, remember, we're insulating ourselves. For some reason, a legacy pillar is on the struggle bus. If some reason, some catastrophe, God forbid, hopefully it doesn't happen, some catastrophe happens, the debt deal doesn't get figured out, right? Something rocks the market, we can still leverage it using a different strategy, all right? And that is income, okay? So let me see one more company. Let's hop into another company. Let's switch from Target. Let's go somewhere else. So somebody put a company in the chat and we'll go in and look at their charts. All right, the first thing I saw was Apple. All right. Okay, so let's go into Apple. So let's just do a quick analysis of Apple from a fundamental perspective, okay? So Apple's ticker is AAPL. Actually, let me use another resource just to give you another option. Let's go to Morningstar, okay? I'm gonna give you some more resources so you have some more tools to utilize. So Morningstar is more for me, I call the sophisticated investors, okay? So it has all this extra kind of fancy stuff. But I use Morningstar when I am doing my analysis for my long-term portfolio. So I'm gonna go in here and show you what it looks like as well. So AAPL is Apple, very similar to Yahoo Finance. Sorry, that says Allegiant, that's not Apple. See, AAPL. Very similar to what we saw over in Yahoo Finance, we will see here a stock summary, Okay, similar, but not exact, right? So here's Apple's stock summary. We can see, you know, what they closed at today, $171.56. It fell $2.64 today. We're in a tech sector. That's another thing to understand. Every company is divided into different sectors, which means the type of industry they're in. The investment style, remember I talked about how valuable they are. So Apple is a large growth company. So growth, those who are interested in growth investing, this will be the investment strategy, right? And so this also gives us some more information here as well, okay? So that's Apple. So again, we don't want to just look at, even when we're solely looking at opportunities for investing, we also want to take a look at technical analysis and look at a company's charts, okay? So I want to now go into my broker. So one of the brokers I use on a regular basis, actually I already brought it up, that's right, here we go, is TradeStation. This is where I do the majority of my trades. So for my income pillar, I am not just looking for quality companies, I'm looking for companies that move, okay? I need a company to do a couple of things for me in order to make sure that I can take care of my lifestyle, all right? So with that said, I'm looking for companies that are first and foremost quality, but I'm looking for companies that, based off of the stock chart, are doing some things that are going to ultimately generate me money, okay? So before we talked about fundamental analysis, long term, now we're going to talk about technical analysis, short term, and I'm going to do this in 5 minutes, okay? So when we are interested in generating income in the market, our tool of analysis is not going through all the financial metrics. We want to make sure the company's good. But our tool of analysis is instead coming over to a stock chart, and we're going to read lines, all right? The technical kind of word for this is these are Japanese candlesticks. We are reading the patterns that these Japanese candlesticks are making in order to determine when it makes sense for us to buy or to sell shares of stock, okay? So this is what I did in order to position me to leave my job at Ohio State after 20 years. I learned how to read stock charts to generate income, okay? So let's do a quick analysis of this. And let me show you a quick just demonstration of how you can leverage and make money using technical analysis. So when you look at this, so let me get my little pencil out. So when you look at this, you see how there is a trend going up, 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 up. And all of a sudden it stopped going up where we are now, because this is current day, this happened today, and it began to fall. Okay. So as a stock trader, my job is to look for these opportunities where price goes up, stop going up, and starts to fall. Goes up, stops going up, and starts to fall. The way that I make money is by looking for these peaks, for lack of better words. And I'm basing my decisions off of what happened historically. Okay, so let me take my pencil off. Stop sharing. Hold on. No. What am I trying to do? Annotate. Oh, that's what I need. Okay. So I'm basing my decisions off of what happened historically. So we know here, and actually I took this trade, right? We know here that when Apple reached around 175 or so, based off of history, if we go back here, that's when Apple turns around and falls right back down. Okay, same thing. Rallied up, hit that 175, ultimately fell right back down. Okay. So a stock trader's job is to look for patterns on a chart and to determine if we want to buy, meaning we think price is going to go up, or if we want to sell, which means that we think price is going to fall. Okay. As a stock trader, you can make money in either directions. It does not matter what the market's doing. If it's going up, you can make money. If it's going down, you can make money. If it's trading sideways, you can make money. You just have to understand the strategy. Okay. So, income pillar. If for some reason this legacy pillar isn't working for us right now, we still gonna hold on to them because we don't want to sell them right away, right? Because ultimately it's gonna turn back around, especially if it's a quality company, right? But we can still be leveraging the market in a way to make money on this income pillar by employing stock trading. Okay, looking for patterns on the chart. Now, I'm making it sound really simple. It's not that simple. Okay, it takes some work, right? But we can look at patterns on the chart and we can determine when we should enter and when we should exit once we understand how to read Japanese candlesticks. All right? Okay. All right, let's finish up. Let me take my reel off of here. Oh, how do I get my little annotate? Okay, clear all drawings. Okay, there we go. All right, close that out. Okay. All right, a couple more minutes. I'm gonna open it up to questions. So we did a virtual field trip. Yes and yes. All right, understanding what's on their charts. Yes and yes, it's a part of the strategy. Okay, we did that. All right, identifying your partner. That's step 3. So what I mean by this is it is critical and pretty much required. If we want to navigate these stock market streets, we have to have a partner in the process. So selecting a brokerage that will enable you to facilitate your buy and sell transactions. Now, there are 3 brokers. Now, I'm not affiliated with any one of them, but I'm just going to tell you 3 brokers that my students and I typically work with. And then I have a partner that I teach with sometimes. So TD Ameritrade is one of them. TradeStation is another, and Webull are the 3 that I kind of lift up. And the reason why I do that is because they have simulators. You don't have to put your real money to work first. You can actually practice using a simulator before you put your money to work, okay? Now, I do, however, believe in money before mastery, okay? So if for some reason, you have somebody that you trust that can help you to get started, to start making some money while you're mastering the market, I'm all for it, right? But I wouldn't say trading, right? I would say long-term in that legacy, okay? So TD Ameritrade, Webull, and TradeStation are 3 that for sure have simulators on them. Okay, so that's step number 3. And then our 4th step is to execute. All right, so we can sit here, we can learn all day, we can watch a million YouTube videos, try to put a strategy together. We can look at a million different stock summaries, learn all the terminology in the world. But if we don't execute, we're not making no money. Okay, so step 4 is to make it happen. All right, make it happen. Okay, let me pause there and let me see what questions do we have. And feel free to unmute yourself.
Yes, ladies, just raise your hand just so we can get them in some kind of order, and then I'll spotlight you to ask the question. But thank you so very much. That was very good. I had taken the course, and that's why I thought you'd be a great speaker for our Sorors and Sisterfriends kind of kickoff. It's one of our initiatives from our international president. So Taylor Lee, I see your hand up. Let me go ahead and spotlight you and go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, my name is Taylor, and this was very educational and I loved it. This is more of a mindset advice question based on your professional expertise. So I'm 24 years old. I'll be turning 25 in July. And right now I have a great job, work from home, love it. I have my own business. I'm looking into investments, educating myself in 401ks. I have a Roth IRA. And then a part of me is like, I'm 24. I want to live my life. I want to travel. I want to take advantage of, I guess, this youth. So I'm just asking, like, how do I find the balance of thinking of long term so I can potentially maybe retire at 40, 50 years old and then traveling or treat myself.
Well, first and foremost, let me say how proud I am of you for doing the thing right now. So that is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So what I would say, I wish somebody would have sat me down when I was your age and said, sis, I need you to get started now. Okay. Because even if you take a little bit, right? It doesn't take a lot to invest in the market. It doesn't take a lot to get started. Even if you take a little bit, if you can put aside at least $100 a week, $100 a month, whatever you got from this on the side, and begin to slowly build consistently over time, when you get 40, 50, 60 years old, you will be fine. Okay. So I definitely encourage you that if I say enjoy your life, I'm all about enjoying, living our best lives, right? I'm all about that. Enjoy your life now, because life, my sister unfortunately passed 2 weeks ago. She was 41 years old, right? But it's important to enjoy life, but also if you can, prepare yourself now so that you can continue to enjoy life as you become more seasoned.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Erica, this is one of your sorors, my law school buddy and classmate. Hey, Sister Greek, Erica.
Hey, Celia. Hi, Soror Meadows.
Hello, Soror. How are you?
I'm well, and this has been an awesome presentation.
Awesome.
I'm overwhelmed with information, and I have two questions if there's time. I'm really sorry for your loss. It's just like a whole epidemic of Black women that are just dying, and it's driving me nuts. And it's driving me nuts internally. But I'm very sorry for your loss. But I do have a couple of questions. I don't want to skip over that. I didn't want to skip over that, but I do have a couple questions.
Thank you.
So I think I have around 35 investments, and I would go months and months and months without even paying attention to it. And when I did pay attention to it just recently, I saw that I lost a lot. I lost a lot. I don't know, just busy, not thinking. How often should I be looking? And then when it seems like I'm losing, how do I pivot? What do I do? Do I just, I'm definitely buying your book, and that's probably more details than that. But when I didn't look, I was like, well, I have nothing. I mean, not all of them. Some of them did extraordinarily well, but none of that made up for those losses that I had. So I'm trying to understand how often I should be looking. How much time should I be investing in this?
Yes. Okay. So I have a few clarifying questions. So when you say your investments, all of these were stocks. Did you have ETFs or index funds, or what were they?
They were a combination. I know a couple of them were categorized as ETFs.
Okay.
I'm trying to look at them, and then a few of them are REITs, and the REITs have done well. But some of them I'm looking and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Okay. So
what happened? Yeah.
Question is, how soon do you need to liquidate your funds? How soon do you need your money back?
Not anytime soon, thankfully. Okay. Not anytime soon. So yeah.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So I'm going to answer your question. What I would recommend is that you just keep an ear to the market at least every other week, right? Just listening passively. You don't have to be active watching it every day, but at least have a pulse of what's going on. That will help you to determine, okay, what is the overarching momentum? Are we concerned about a major, what have you? Like right now, the whole conversation is about the debt ceiling, right? And how that might impact the market. Now, depending on what you have in your portfolio, it may just be a casualty of inflation. So the reason why I asked, okay, so how soon do you want to liquidate your stocks and get your money back? It could just be a casualty of what the overarching market has faced. So over time, those can march right back up and be just fine. Okay, so that's a possibility. Now, I would, however, be curious. This will require a little bit more investigation. What ETFs you have, kind of what's the mix, what sectors they're in, because different sectors tend to perform better during different economic cycles. And given that, there's been a lot of conversation about recessions, tech got hit, but now tech is beginning to rally back up. So there's a lot of variables there that would be interesting to understand. So to wrap a bow around my response to your question is, if you can just keep a light pulse on what's happening with the market, glance at it, periodically, I think that would help you from incurring undue losses. Another thing that you could do is, and this is all in a self-directed portfolio, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. You can put stops in your account.
Okay.
You can put stops so that if for some reason you're like, I got too much going on in my life, I don't want to look at it every day or whatever, you can put stops that will protect your profits, that if it falls too far, it'll stop you out and preserve your money. So that's another thing you can do too.
Okay. Okay, and then my second question was, it's 7:30. That's okay. Somebody probably
Go ahead, go ahead, Erica.
Okay, so it's about foreign investments. And so the one that's done really well is actually a German company. And I've never spent any time to investigate whether or not it's worth just leaving the US in terms of investing in other nations' companies. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
So you're asking, should you invest in foreign companies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't anything wrong with it. It depends. It depends, right? So there's a lot of variables at play there. So I'll be, wanting to understand the company, the countries, and so forth. Like, for example, Asian markets are, intertwined with the US, but they're much younger than us. Like, there's a lot of variables there. But I don't see any challenges with investing in other companies as long as you know kind of what they're doing, their business practices, and if they're expected to do well over the long term. Yeah, I wouldn't have any issues.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm like getting a little kind of all over the place here because I'm sitting here thinking about what country they're from and kind of what the variables are there. So, but if you ever have questions, feel free to reach out to me, Sora. I got you.
I will. I just try to connect with you on LinkedIn. So.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right.
Thank you so much. This has been wonderful.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thanks for coming, Erica.
I'm not leaving yet.
Oh, I guess I'll chat with you. All righty, Felicia Parker. I see your hand up. Hi, Felicia.
Good evening. How are you?
Very good. How about yourself?
Unfortunately, Erica asked the same question. So she asked my question. I have some stocks in like Southwest and some other things, and I do not monitor them at all just because of what they say, the recession or whatever is happening right now due to COVID. However, she kind of sit on it and glance at it. So that's what I'll do moving forward. I have some other small ones that some companies went out of business and everything like that. I may want to know, do I just go ahead and close that out? Obviously, because you won't make a profit off of that, correct? I guess that would be my question, because there's one company that just kind of went missing it. So just close it out, correct?
Well, do you know what company went south?
It was like a plasma company. My cousin started to kind of like put me, down with everything a couple years, like 2 years ago, I guess, when COVID hit, when everything was really low. And either he was just learning, but he was just kind of giving me some pointers, and I went on. It was really cheap, but then now it's just like gone. It's just plateau, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Okay. If it's at 0, it's probably curtains. Something probably happened with the company. Maybe there was a research faux pas, whatever. It could be a number of different things. So if it's a 0, it more than likely won't do anything here. Now there's no guarantee that it won't, but more than likely it won't.
Okay. But that Southwest, I should sit on it for sure, right?
Yeah, so Southwest, I haven't looked at their chart in a while. and I don't want to like give like
Right.
financial
Mhm.
buying or selling or what have you. I would say take a look at the chart and
Okay.
see what trend the Southwest is moving in right now. Also go into there. Remember we talked about the summary. Look
Yes.
if they're profitable, right? Look to see if they're profitable, what's going on. And if you want to dig even deeper, go into that 10Q and 10K and read through
Yes.
that. And if you have
Perfect.
questions, feel free to contact me.
Thank
Okay.
you. You'll leave your information before we close out tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you have my my email address, and then I'm also going to offer the opportunity for you ladies to join the challenge. If you join the challenge, you'll have me for a whole week. A whole
Awesome.
week, right? So,
Thank you.
okay, you're welcome.
All right, thank you, Felicia.
Thank you.
Kia Andrews.
Oh, sorry. Kai, it's Kai. Hey.
Kai, hi Kai.
Hey. How are you? Thank you so much. I just want to say this, I'm really new to this, and when I hear stocks, it's just really scary.
Sorry,
Okay,
I didn't see Andrew. Saw the face, but I didn't recognize the name on the thing when I looked. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Sorry, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, no, I was just saying this is really helpful because I do not like numbers. I am not good with math. I freeze up when I hear this stuff. So this has just been really helpful, just trying to get an overview. I did just have a question in terms of retirement plans. I currently have a 403B through my job, and I believe it's through Empowerment Retirement, which I really wish I'd started much earlier, but I guess better late than never. I was just curious if you had any recommendations on choosing your own investment options with the 403B as opposed to letting the company kind of make those decisions for you. Because I've heard different recommendations on how to handle that. And I've just been letting the company kind of just choose for me.
Yes. Okay. So I'm not here to give financial advice in that way, but here's what I would recommend. I would recommend sitting down with the person who's over your retirement plan, asking them directly, what are the fees? What are the fees associated for you to help manage this plan for me? Okay. Typically, those fees are going to look very, very, very small, but over time, they're enormous. Okay. So then what I would do after I understand from that person, okay, what are all the fees embedded within this, is if you have a financial advisor?
We do have one that's paired, like for us. I haven't really met with them, to be honest, though.
Are they independent of your retirement plan or aligned with them?
There's one aligned, like I don't have my own independent one.
Okay. So I would encourage you to meet with somebody independent and talk with them and ask them that exact question. Okay. Because they may have some ideas around how that, basically managing it yourself, that's going to require education, right? Making sure you understand what's going on and what you're doing versus having somebody else to manage it. If you have a life cycle fund, do you know what type of fund you have in your retirement?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, so I would seek to understand that too, because that is also associated with different levels of fees and so forth. So, okay, so here's the kind of step by step. Find your independent person, okay? Sit down with them, have a conversation. Sit down with whoever's responsible for your retirement plan, the independent person too, if they're a specialist in retirement plans. There's a lot of different financial advisors that are out there that have different levels of specialty. But if they understand retirement plans, they can go through and also comb and understand what your fees are. And then ask them to understand, help you to understand, and then that can help you make a more informed and educated decision. Because that will be all based off of kind of what they have you set up for, and so forth. Where I was going with the life cycle funds, those typically are more expensive to be managed over time. So at least when I was researching it years ago, I haven't looked lately because I've been into SEP IRAs, but when I was looking at it years ago, those were a little bit more expensive. So I would have a conversation with them to see if they can help you. And if you need recommendations, I have people in my circle, that I can, I'm not recommending them. I'm just saying, hey, here's somebody to interview and see if it's somebody that can help you. So let me know. I'm happy to help.
Oh, yeah, I'd appreciate it. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
She's one of our newest chapter members. So excited to see you on, Soror. I'm glad this was helpful.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. All righty, so we're going to take 2 more questions, ladies. Let me just look in here. As I always say, I'm the least tech savvy person, but I always somehow end up doing the tech. let's see. 1 second. All right. There are two people who have their hands up. Who are they?
Victoria Parrish is one of
Okay,
them.
Victoria. Hey, Victoria, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Great job the other day. Great job. So go ahead.
Thank
Go ahead and
you.
ask your question.
My question was probably an easy question. This is a baby question. Is it better if you're a first-time investor, should you invest more so in the technology arena, or like, is there a preference? You know what I mean? Like, is it better to do tech, or should I go, real estate or whatever?
That is an excellent question. That is so good. So it depends. Okay. It depends. It depends on what economic season we're in. So, for example, when we were going through, especially at the beginning of 2020, we're in 2022, when the conversations about inflation really started to hit the fan. The NASDAQ, which is the index that primarily houses tech companies, I like to say the NASDAQ sneezed and the rest of the market caught the cold. Okay. So the NASDAQ started to fall because the big banks, hedge funds, everybody that's moving the market began to sell off tech because the earnings from tech were not expected to be as great, because if their money isn't flowing the way it was before, then people aren't going to be buying technology, right? So with that said, there was an influx in investing in like things like consumer staples, right? Or the defensive stocks, the tried and trues, the Pepsis, the Cokes, the P&Gs, all of those, right? So,
right, which is what someone told me, like, you got to move your stuff over, move it over there. I'm like, what? I thought I was supposed to stay over here. And Apple, and you won't tell me I would be fine. They like, no, move it over. I'm like, okay, I'm confused now.
Yes, absolutely. So it depends on what type of economic season we're in. So right now, for example, the NASDAQ has appreciated 20% this year alone. The stock market on average, the S&P typically goes up anywhere between 8 to 10% a year on average, not every year, but on average. But the NASDAQ is up 20, right? So there's conversation right now about, okay, are we running out of steam here with the NASDAQ because everybody's kind of chasing these higher highs in the market? So is tech the right thing to invest in right now? If we would have had this conversation beginning of the year, absolutely, right? But we don't know, what's going to really happen from here. So my recommendation would be to, until we can get in, this is just Laquore's opinion only, okay? Until we can get through these inflationary times, as far as investing goes, I would still be looking at my tried and trues, okay?
Okay.
That's what I would be looking for right now. For trading, on the other hand, I'm trading tech all day.
Okay.
Does that help?
Excellent.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Absolutely. Yes.
Awesome.
That's the most sane answer I've gotten.
Oh, good.
Everything else had me pulling my hair out. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to respond.
The pleasure is all mine.
All right.
All right. And Vanessa, I think I have Vanessa, and I have a question that was put in the chat and the person could not type, so I'll read it off when you're done, Vanessa. Go ahead, Vanessa. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Excellent.
Thank you for having me. I have two very short questions, very brief, straight to the point. Would you recommend having a broker to manage your portfolio, or self-direct and manage it yourself? I've had that in the past, and similar to Erica's question or her statement about noticing like a decline in how your money's moving, and I didn't feel comfortable with how they translated how my money was moving versus what I thought I could do, even though I'm not a subject matter expert. So that's the first question. And the second question is your opinion on Bitcoin. I personally think it's monopoly money. Big money does not make money, but you're the subject matter expert. And so those are my two questions.
Okay. So let me just make sure I get the first question. The first question is around should you manage your own portfolio or pay somebody to do it yourself?
Yes.
To do it for you. Okay. So first and foremost, I want to say that you're completely capable of doing it yourself. Okay. My question for you would be, does your lifestyle support you managing it yourself?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
It does
All
not.
right.
Busy. I'm
Okay.
still at work as we're talking, so that will tell you something.
Okay. Okay. So you are a busy sister, just like most of us, right? So with that said, then it may be helpful to have a manager manage your big money, right?
Okay.
But you also, because it's important for you to be able to speak the language to them as well, is taking a smaller sum of money and managing some things yourself as well.
Okay.
Right? So that you don't play with, and I'm saying play not in a like, oh,
Yeah.
lose terms, but so that you can make sure that your larger funds are better protected and they don't become victim of your busy schedule. Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So that would be my recommendation for that. And I had something else to say and it just escaped me. Bigger funds. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure what I was going to say. Okay. Then your other question was about Bitcoin. So I am not a crypto expert. I try to stay in my lane. Okay. I stay in my lane with stocks, options. I could talk about those all day long. Okay. And all weekend and everything. But as far as crypto goes, it has had a whole situation going on. I don't really want to. I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other. I've seen people become gazillionaires, right? Trading Bitcoin and so forth. And companies also take on, like Tesla, for example, banks have started to accept crypto and so forth. So I'm here for that, right? But I also recognize that the regulations and all of that is a whole nother issue and a whole nother challenge. And it's not something that I own crypto, but not something I'm like heavily into. So I don't want to speak when I'm not speaking with a level of expertise.
Okay, no, thank you. I had no current interest in it, but I was just curious about like why people do the things they do with this kind of money and whether that'll be an option in the future for me is based on what my people do. And especially for Black women, I want to make sure that I'm doing the things that my people, subject matter experts do. And so thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I think it's important to learn about it. Okay. I think it's important to learn. I would just say enter strategically, however.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Celia.
Excellent. You're welcome. Thanks, Vanessa. And I'm going to go ahead and read the question that was sent. And give me 1 second. And okay, so the question was, and it's a good one. She said, I apologize, I don't have a mic, but it's 2-part. What is the difference between investing in ETFs and mutual funds? And are there pros and cons investing in each? For those that want to stay away from trying to invest in individual stocks. Oh, that was it. So that was the question.
Okay, perfect. So what I want to do now is I want us to use one of our resources. Okay, so what was that resource I put in the chat earlier? Because I want to show you when we have questions like this, what we can do. What was that resource that we talked about, just like the encyclopedia?
Investopedia. It was Investopedia.
Exactly. Leanne jumped on it. That was her question. Okay, good job, Leanne.
Right. So let's go ahead and hop over into Investopedia real quick, and then we're gonna look that up. All right. So, but I'll give you a quick explanation, and then we'll look at it on a deeper level. So, one thing when we talking about ETFs are considered exchange traded funds. And maybe I can't use it, so I might have to just explain it. Okay, because for some reason my my PowerPoint would not let me go to the internet. Okay, so ETFs are exchange traded funds, which are baskets of companies. Okay, they have something in common with them. Mutual funds are also baskets of companies that have something in common with them. The difference between the two is that ETFs are traded on the stock market. Okay, ETFs are traded on the stock market, whereas mutual funds are not. Mutual funds are their own asset class. So let's here, I think I just got it to work for me. Okay. So what we will do, and I don't want to take up too much time, but I encourage you to dig into Investopedia and kind of read all of the pros and cons between the different ones. I personally am invested in a self-directed portfolio in ETFs. But I don't personally invest in mutual funds. In my retirement plan, I have mutual funds though. Okay. So that would be something to consider. Now, one thing I do want to caution against when you're investing in ETFs and mutual funds is making sure you know what the ingredients are. All right. So like with an ETF, for example, not so long ago, a couple of years ago, ARKK was an ETF that everybody was talking about. And it's primarily tech companies. What is it called? She calls it innovation. Kathy Wood calls it innovation companies. So when all of those innovation companies started to go down, so did that ETF as well. Okay, so a lot of people was in ARKK making all kind of money and then didn't want to get out, so end up losing money in the process when ARKK began to depreciate. So just making sure you know what a ETF is made of, our mutual fund is made of, because if it's too heavily allocated in one sector and that sector isn't performing well, that's going to impact the performance of that overarching security. Does that make sense? Let me know if I need to say it differently.
Oh, she said, yes, thank you. Sharonda Benson, I see your hand up. Do you have a question? I'll add you.
Thank you, Soror.
Right.
Great presentation. Just wanted to ask, do you offer portfolio reviews? And then also in your course, I think somebody answered this already, but do you teach us how to read charts? Because I like to trade options from time to time, and so I would love to like really learn how to read them.
Absolutely. Technical analysis is my whole jam. So yes, I do teach people how to read charts. Also, I teach options trading as well. That's in my inner circle. So that is I have a 6-month coaching program that I teach you how to trade stocks from the beginning, like 101, all the way up to trading advanced option strategies as well. So absolutely, I do that. And then the first question was?
Offer portfolio reviews for like retirement, like the 403 and the 401ks. Do you offer portfolio reviews or even just regular portfolio, not even retirement, but?
Yes. So if you have a self-directed stock portfolio, yes. But as far as your retirement, I try not to enter that category because I'd rather for you to have, somebody who specializes in retirements. Now, ladies, this is important. Okay. This is really important. So as we talk about our different kind of sectors of our financial lives. All right. I want to make sure that we are aware that if somebody has a title of a financial advisor, financial counselor, whatever that might be, that does not mean that they're all encompassing. Okay. So I want to make sure that as you're going out and you're seeking advice from different professionals, that you ask them pointed questions. What is your specialty? Because we want to make sure that they can help us with what we need help with. Some people specialize in annuities. Some people specialize in retirement, so whatever it may be, right? So making sure you have a good understanding of what that looks like and what they do is also really important, okay? So I say that to say, just in general, because my financial advisor, he's like, yeah, I don't do that. So here's my brother over here that can do that for you. Does that make sense? Okay.
I think that's good. Excellent. Well, ladies, we have come to the end of the road. I'm going to bring back on Chrissy, and we're going to give some closing thoughts. And Chrissy, the floor is yours, and I'll pick up when you're done.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to give you all an opportunity. First and foremost, if you'd like to get connected to Associated Black Charities, we are at www.associatedblackcharities.org. If you look on our website, there's something called ABC Academy, where we have an on-demand video resource library where we do discuss the different components of establishing Black wealth. Additionally, I just don't want to take for granted the wealth of information we were all afforded the opportunity to receive tonight. I think that Oftentimes, specifically Black women wait to be fully qualified to take risks and to take advantage of opportunities, and our counterparts don't do that. Sometimes we wait to have it all figured out and to feel like we 100% know what's going on before putting our toe in that water. And I would advise that we are responsible now for a generational wealth transfer. That means we are responsible to shore up and make sure that our children's children have what they need and are financially secure. And so whatever you have to do to get involved and to take part in the information that was shared tonight, I would advise that we courageously do that. If that means that we have to partner and collaborate our resources to get involved, if that means that we have to leverage technology, and there's so many ways that technology now allows us to be involved in the investing landscape, whether it's websites that are allowing us to buy fractions of stocks. In yesteryear, you used to have to be so wealthy to even participate, and now that is not the case. You can get involved with a smaller percentage of resources. Whether you are taking advantage, and hopefully so, of Dr. Meadows' courses and her mentorship and sponsorship in this area, just don't leave this call and not get involved at all, because the future is depending on you creating a legacy of financial literacy. And today we can commit to all being a part of that, that movement together today. Celia told me to bring up our gala for ABC, and that seems so contradictory to the fact that we should be compounding our money and our investments.
It's a good investment.
But ABC has its annual gala on June 10th at Maryland Live. Again, it's AssociatedBlackCharities.org for all of the information. And we would love to have you all connected to our organization, if only to come forward and tell us that as a member of the Black community, you've stepped into your power as a potential investor and done something phenomenal with that. We would love to hear your testimony. So thank you for having me this evening.
Thank you so much, Chris. We truly appreciate you partnering with us in this endeavor. It is a big focus area for our international president, and it's become a new passion project of mine. I've shared with a lot of people, my mother, my sister, and I invested in a beach house, and we basically paid the entire mortgage off of 10, 12 weeks worth of rentals from like friends. That was a whole year's of mortgage. And so I wanted to kind of dabble in stock because I want to know kind of how to kind of expand my knowledge, because there's so many ways to make money and build wealth. And I was very impressed with the young lady who spoke up about in her 20s. I was in Jamaica. I was at the club. And listen, I was putting stuff on credit cards. I ain't had no business putting stuff on credit cards for. I was calling my parents for money. So that, I think that alone, the fact that we have these open and honest conversations about money, like back in the day, it was like so taboo, like to talk about money, but we really need to talk and share. And so, you know, I did take Dr. Meadows' class because I started looking and I said, well, I want a Black woman to teach me, you know, because you can go on TikTok and YouTube and, you know, the others, the cousins, as I call them, they got all kinds of stuff, but I wanted somebody who looked like me. And I Googled and I found her and I was like, oh, wow, this is interesting. And then she was a Delta. Y'all know some of my best friends are Deltas. So I was like, oh, wow. And I thought it was phenomenal that she had gone to the Sigma Gamma Rho Centennial to teach them. So that's why I said to her, when I took her course, I said, oh, you know, this is Sorors and Sisterfriends, because it's not exclusive. I know a lot of people are in the chat saying, I'm not a member of a D9. Is it okay? Yes. We had a man in our course one night and I was looking at him like, what you doing here? It's for the girls, but it's for Sorors and Sisterfriends. So I'm going to give her opportunity to tell you a little bit about her course and how you can reach out to her to join. She did say she would offer a discount for anybody who attended tonight. And I really found a lot. It was a lot of information, but as you saw tonight, her teaching style is very easy to understand. And Christy and I were on a side conversation, you know, talking about, you know, this might be something good for the youth to do like a youth training program with you and partner that way as well, because we can just only learn and grow more in this area because the money is there and it's there to be made. And, you know, I'm not a gatekeeper. Y'all know, if y'all follow me on Facebook, you know, I tell it all. So, you know, when I had the course, I was like, wow, I want to find an opportunity that we could work together to do something. And this is Financial Literacy Month. And we typically do programs this month that center around, you know, marketing, branding, economic development, home ownership. And so it seemed like a perfect fit. So I'll give you the floor so you can kind of talk a little bit about your course and how they can reach out to you, and we'll send it out in an email because I know some people had to leave because we went a little over, but spotlight is yours.
Yes, awesome. Well, thank you so much again for the opportunity to be here tonight. And ladies, thank you so much for just sticking around and spending time with us this evening. So I am super excited and happy that you have done that. All right, so let me talk a little bit about, this is the offering that I have that is coming up next week. So, and I absolutely love teaching this because I see so much transformation happen throughout these respective 5 days. So I offer a challenge. It's called the Trade Your Payday Challenge. Okay, so my goal is to make sure that you have the foundational things that you need, that if you ever need to be able to leverage the stock market to generate income that can trade your check that you get from work, you'll be able to do so. All right. So the whole challenge is really designed around helping you to get that foundation. Now, I call it the bear market edition because I want to also make sure that we have a laser focus on how do we make money when the market appreciates, goes up, those bulls come out, right? But then how do we also leverage the market for that income pillar when the market is falling, when our legacy pillar is not working for us? How do we make money when the market's going down? Okay, so that is the bear market edition component of this challenge. Now, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to the actual days here. So I'm gonna scroll down. Okay, so the challenge happens over 5 days. And again, we start next Monday. And so each day we focus on a different thing. The first day is designed to help you to acquire fluency in the market. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not. I'm sorry. The mindset. Mindset is first. So the first day is to help you to make sure you have the mindset, right, of a successful investor and a successful stock trader. Okay. So we talk about the process of growing to become that person. I'll talk about this notion of be, do, have. How do you become the person who can do the things to have what it is that we desire to have? All right. So we focus in on that. And we also focus in on the importance of having the right mindset, the right routines when we come into this space. All right. We as Black women are carrying a lot. Okay. A lot. Last couple of weeks ago, because of all the stress with my sister and I have some things, other things going on, my back literally froze up. Okay. I could not walk. We are carrying a lot, ladies. So making sure that we are in a place where we can release some of that stuff and we're clear, right? That can help us to be successful on these stock market streets. So we focus in on mindset as well. The second day is where we're focusing on making sure that you are fluent in the market. All right. So I want us to be able to, when we hear people work talking about ABC company, or we hear this new innovation that's coming out that this tech company is doing, or this healthcare company, or what have you, I want us to be able to hang in those conversations and speak the language with excellence. All right. So day 2 is focused on going through different terms, not just for the sake of going and writing down definitions, but we actually take those terms and we place it into context of what's happening on these stock market streets. All right. So that is day number 2. Day number 3 and 4, okay, this is my favorite because we get to hop into the stock charts, all right? So my goal, of course, I'm going to teach you a little bit more about that stock summary we talked about, the fundamental side. But my goal here is to help us to understand how do we read Japanese candlesticks, how do we read the charts in order to know where should we enter and where should we exit at profit. Okay, so I will be teaching you how to understand the language of price movement, which are Japanese candlesticks, as well as formations, in order to make those moves. Now, only would I work helping you to understand that from a bullish perspective when the market goes up, because it's the bear market edition, I'll teach you how to make money when the market falls too. All right. Now, everything you need to know as a stock trader can't, of course, happen in these 2 days, but I'm guarantee you when you leave this experience, you will at minimum know how to make trades. You at minimum know how to read a stock chart in order to make decisions on where to get in and where to exit. Okay. So that is day 3 and day 4. The 5th day is also one of my favorites, and that is teaching you about options. All right. So earlier when I first started, I talked about ownership of companies, right? When we purchase shares of stock, we acquire ownership. But that takes some money, okay? That takes some investment, especially if we want to buy a decent number of shares. We can also, from a trading perspective, benefit in a very similar way without having to put all that upfront money at play by trading options, okay, which gives us the rights to buy or sell shares of stock. So day 5, the whole goal with that is to make sure, one, that you know options is a thing, right? And I also will teach you how to read an options chain, and we'll go through placing the options trade so you'll understand what that looks like, all right? So that's the 5th day. And then as a bonus, you have ongoing access to the course. You'll have ongoing access to me within the Stocks and Sorors Facebook group or in any other classes I offer. So know that I just don't go away after the class. I'm here for you at any time. All right. So that is the 5th day. So you also, within the course, you get different wealth sheets to work through. You have videos to watch every day, little short challenge videos for you to actually do something, because I'm all about implementing and executing. So that's a part of the challenge as well. It won't take very long, 2-minute video, 3-minute video, and then a task to do. So not too intrusive, but impactful that you'll get during that time as well to help you really nail this. All right, here's one of our graduates, Star, taught a lot of people in this space. And so here is the investment. So I have 2 different levels for the challenge. If you desire to really get the rare carpet treatment, or in the case of the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha, right, the pink carpet treatment, right? If you decide to get the pink carpet treatment, we have the VIP experience available for you. So this provides extra time for you to come in, ask all the questions that you absolutely want. You get access to the VIP community and Mighty Networks. You get coaching from me. You get a copy of my ebook as well. You get the Japanese candlestick deep dive course, a mind map, and stock tracker. All of the goodies, right, are packed into the VIP component. The other thing about VIP that's really important to know is that I pour everything I got into this challenge, okay? So I know for a fact that I'm going to try my best to give you as much value as absolutely possible. All right. So if for some reason you're like, okay, Laquore, this did not work for me, I don't know. No questions asked. As long as you come all 5 days with your camera on, 100% money back guarantee. I would gladly, here you go, sister, I still love you, right? I'll be happy to give you your money back. All right. I'm just that confident that this can change your life. Okay. So that is the VIP. If you say, okay, Laquore, I don't want all the extra pink carpet treatment, but I just want to come and I want to listen to you teach, general admission is also an option for you. Okay, so you still get the 5 days, you get the Facebook group, which is actually in Mighty Networks now, and you get 30-day access to the actual recordings. Okay, so for those that join tonight, I have 2 offers for you actually. For those that join VIP tonight, okay, what I have is I want to sit down with you one-on-one for a 30-minute call. Okay, I want to help you get started. So I will offer to sit down with you. If you have a portfolio already at play, I will go through that portfolio and read that with you. So you'll get access to my calendar. So you and I can sit down and have a conversation. Okay. And then also I'm going to give you access to my stock market starter kit that has a whole bunch of how-to videos so that you can have one resource all in one place, not all over the place. You don't have to go here, there. Okay. I got that how-to resource. And then if, however, you decide you want to join my inner circle, if you're like, okay, Laquore, the challenge, yeah, 5 days is good, but I really want like a whole robust experience, I am offering admission to my my inner circle, which is a 6-month coaching program that I normally charge $5,000 for. I will offer that tonight for half off. Okay, so it's only $2,500 for a full 6-month coaching program. Okay, that's the biggest discount I've ever given. So if that's something you want to do, if you want to really dig hard, you really want to take that next level, you really want to learn how to leverage and make that income pillar work for you, I got your back. Okay, and you are more than welcome to join that. So if either of it of interest to you, let me offer the Trade Your Payday Challenge website. So if you do, for some reason, my website was acting a little funky last week. Today it worked, but I want to make sure it works for your computer too. So if you type in www.tradeyourpayday.com, that will give you the site. Tradeyourpayday.com may work, but for me it worked today, but it wasn't working a week ago or so. So try that. And then also, if you're interested in joining the inner circle and you want to join for half off, just email me and I will connect with you and then we will get you started with the next cycle of our inner circle. And this is only available for tonight. So if you're interested in joining for half off at the inner circle, literally the cheapest I've ever done it, you are more than welcome to join us for the next one. Okay. All right. So any questions about the challenge or the
I think there was one about the time, the meeting time.
Okay, yes, absolutely. So Eastern Standard Time for the VIP is 6:45. We start and we end at 8:30. So we start at 6:45 and go the full time. For those that are general admission, we start at 7:30 and we end at 8:30.
And I'm gonna lean on the alternate shield. Because we lost some people tonight, do you mind if we extend it for 24 hours? We're gonna send out a survey and we wanna send out your information since we lost, because we had like almost 70 people here, but we're down because we're a little over. Do you mind if you extend it for like a 24-hour?
I will be more than happy to. Absolutely. Okay. Yes, no problem. No problem. Because usually I'm so used to saying tonight, you know, but
yeah, I know. Yeah, we're gonna send out the survey tomorrow. So this is great. Yeah. Ladies, as I've shared, and let me take this for you. Okay, good. All right. So as I've shared, ladies, I did take the course. I found it very informative. Almost too informative, only that I have so many other things that I'm juggling, but it was such a good kind of first step to kind of get into and understand the concepts and the ability to know that I have, kind of like what Chrissy said, the ability to say, hey, I don't have all the knowledge, but I can start somewhere. And it was thanks to your challenge that I actually, I opened up with Fidelity, and they offer, and again, I don't work for them. They don't give me any brand deals yet. I'm going to work on that. But, they gave me like a free $100 if you join with only 50. So I was like, hey, okay, let me do that. But I like the idea of the simulator, and I can definitely say, having taken the course, it's definitely something that gives you the knowledge base that you need to feel confident. And I have put Dr. Meadows' presentation up against some other people, again, that don't look like us, their presentation, and I found hers to be more impactful. And I love her origin story, the idea that she met someone who had raised all this money in order to give it away. So you can see by the name of her company, Invest2Give, like that's her North Star, is that she wants to do this so that she can leave a legacy for others. And that speaks to me, as Alpha Kappa Alpha woman, and wanting to do those things myself and create scholarships and leave a legacy and help others the way that I've been helped. So I really appreciate you coming on tonight, and as Chrissy said as well, this was very informative, very excellent, and we appreciate you. And thank you for everybody who stayed on to this point. We will send the information out tomorrow morning. That way you'll have the survey, the information regarding the VIP experience. I received a lot of text messages and inboxes and all that stuff. Guys, y'all know I ain't that tech savvy. So if I didn't respond to you, it wasn't for lack of, wanting to not respond. I just wanted to make sure that I had a chance to tell you, thank you so much for your messages. All I heard was excellent presentation. Oh my God, this is so informative. Oh my goodness, no one has ever broken it down like this. So I think that speaks very highly to you as a presenter, and the idea that you were able to kind of do this and be able to give Black women, opportunity to kind of come together and just have this safe space to kind of talk about what it is that we want to do, and to have these kind of big dreams. And I like the day one of the course, because it really is all about getting your mind right. Taking out those barriers about what you can and can't achieve, who you can and can't be, the money you can and can't make. And I think Chrissy said it well a little while ago, there's like a famous Facebook meme that's like, have the confidence of an average white man. That's what we need, y'all, like, because we know how the cousins can do. And, we have the intelligence, we have the time, we have the money, we have the resources. And I think it is important, you want to invest to be able to give, to be able to take care of yourself and your families, as well as being able to give to others. And it's enjoy life. Like, I like the idea that, I can be a part owner of a beach house and I can enjoy it in the off season. And the mortgage, I haven't had to put much money out of my personal pocket at this point, besides the down payment. But without the knowledge and skills of how to invest and the desire to want to learn, I wouldn't be able to do that. And so it's definitely become my mission and my passion project to want to be able to share as much as I can with as many people as possible. So again, thank you very much, Dr. Meadows, for giving us your time, talent, and your pearls of wisdom. Oh, Delta's got pearls too. And for our Sorors that came on tonight, thank you so very much. I appreciate you all for joining. And for our sister friends, our sister Greeks, this was definitely meant to be an open conversation for all women, especially women of color, so that we can kind of have this foundation of knowledge in order to invest in not only in ourselves, but in our communities. So I want to thank you all for time. Thank you all for staying a little bit over. I appreciate it because it was such a good conversation. I didn't want to cut the questions off. But clearly, Dr. Meadows, that means that we're going to have to bring you back for a part 2.
I would love that. Yes, that would be amazing.
Yes, that'd be excellent. So ladies, the information will go out tonight. I want to thank you all for coming tonight and thank you all for your excellent questions. And again, thank you all and have a great weekend and be safe. And we'll talk soon. Oh, and Friday, we're having an estate planning 101. So if you're available 1 p.m. in person in Turner Station at the Fleming Senior Center, it's for seniors, but everybody knows the senior they love. And this is going to be great free information from a licensed attorney about how to get your estate planning in order. And so please feel free to come out and join us for that. And we'd love to see you. And thank you all. Good night.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.